Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Let's have a little chitty chat. I haven't done one of these one subject videos in a very long time, and I watched The Breakfast Club today. There was an interview with Amara La Negra. If you don't know who Amara La Negra is, she's a cast member of the new Love and Hip Hop Miami. She is originally a Latina artist, and she's trying to break over into American music. The controversy and why she's so popular right now is that she met with a producer, I think Young Hollywood or DJ Hollywood or something. When she met him, before she even got to talk about what her sound is and ask him any questions, he made some comment about the way she looks, because she has a huge afro and she's a beautiful Dominican black woman. She is like, what do you mean? He's like, well, your look, first of all, you're gonna have to soften it. He told her her afro wasn't elegant. He told her that he needed to see less Macy Gray, more Beyonce. Just a lot of really ignorant racist things he said to her. And so she clapped back, and the entire community of black people around the diaspora clapped back with her. And so he's under a lot of heat right now. Shortly after her conversation with Hollywood, who told her that she wasn't going to be marketable, she was signed to a multi-album deal with BMG Records. So, she just went from being told that she needed to change up her image in order to be signed or to be taken seriously to being signed and having her image exalted and celebrated. So anyway, so she's in the Breakfast Club. She's trying to explain to Charlamagne the God about being Afro-Latina and all of the negative and racist things, that, especially those things that come with it in the Latin community. Charlamagne the God act like he didn't, he had no idea about the strife of black people throughout the diaspora. First of all, let me say that I do not identify as Afro-Latina. I'm not. To me, somebody who is Latina or Latino is someone whose household speaks Spanish. They grew up in a country or they grew up in a household where Spanish is the predominant language. My dad is Garifuna from Belize, which is a group of people, an ethnicity of people who live in Belize, but that ethnicity, Garifuna, they also live in Guatemala and Honduras as well. And as you guys know, Guatemala and Honduras are Latino countries, so their language that they speak on the street, in the bank, in the government, on TV is Spanish. They're definitely Latino. So when there are people of my ethnicity who would consider themselves Latino, that's what they are. I am not. I am a black American. My father is a black Belizean. He does not speak Spanish. He was not taught Spanish in his household. He was taught Spanish in school and out in the street the same way I was. So that is where it comes from. But I have mad respect for the Latino community because I grew up adjacent to it. I completely respect the culture, but that is not my culture. Okay, so for those of you who are confused about how there are black people outside of Africa and the United States, just so that you know, there are black people in almost every continent, almost every country in this world. Only beat out by the Chinese, because the Chinese are everywhere, girl. So Charlamagne was behaving as though he doesn't understand why Amara speaking out about being Afro-Latina is a big deal. He's like, well, black people are winning. Black people are doing great. Like, Issa Rae is doing great. There's all these examples of dark-skinned black women who are doing great. And she's like, yes, in the American market. However, in the Latino market, in the Latin market, it's not that. In the Latin market, it's still very much based on colorism. It's still very much based on the fact that lighter, the better, straighter the hair, the better. All of those things. So when she would audition for things in the Latin community, she was told yeah, we'll call you when we have a role for a prostitute. We'll call you if there's a novella where we include slaves in the narrative. These are the things that she is getting in her own community, in her Latin community. I don't want to have to go into a whole history lesson about it, right? Afro-Latinos are black. They're black people who are in Latin countries. They're not like unicorns. They're not a special breed. And they got to those countries the same way that the black people in America did, from slavery or being in some sort of captivity. Black people that are in South America, that are in Central America, that are in the Caribbean. Not all of them. I know there's going to be some people that are like,
I'm not the descendant of slaves. My people were never slaves. They were captured, but they weren't slaves.
If it makes you feel better to think that your ancestors weren't slaves, your ancestors weren't caught up and brutalized by Europeans, that makes you feel better, than God bless you. But for me, it doesn't matter. We were all brought here under duress to work on some fields in which we were not getting paid to work on. It's also really weird and narcissistic for black Americans to think of themselves as being black and think of all the other black people throughout the diaspora as being other. No, we're all black, just different forms of it. My ethnicity here in the United States is I'm a black American. You know, my family isn't from Africa. My mother's American. My father's Central American. He has his own ethnicity that's from the Central America area as well. So it's all a mix, but at the same time, we're black. It's so weird to me. She's like, oh, but you're not black. You're Afro-Latina. No, she is black. She is a black Latina. That's what Afro-Latina is. I guess I'm just confused because I felt like he was trolling her. She's talking about the other market, the market that Charlemagne is acting like he has no idea exists, and almost is like, well, who cares about them? You're now in the American market. It's not about who cares. As they say, do it for the culture. Amara is doing it for the culture. She's trying to bring awareness to the fact that there are a whole group of black people in the Latino community who are not respected, who aren't on the cover of magazines, who aren't winning awards, who aren't in shows, who aren't in movies. And that's what she is trying to represent. She is saying that J-Lo, Shakira, and all of these other artists are the ones that are being propelled forward and celebrated, where artists like her who look like her aren't. And the last one to be celebrated was Celia Cruz. I know some of you guys are going to be down in the comment section being negative about the fact that you've met some Afro-Latinas who act like they want to distance themselves from black Americans. I've experienced that. At first I was mad and annoyed. It's always been dope to me to be black. So when someone finally realizes that we're on the same page, that we're in el mismo página, that we are the same, that we go through the same things, maybe just in a different language with different food, I'm willing to embrace that person. So for the community at large to be like, oh, now she wants to be black because being black is popping. Yo, being black for some of us has always been popping. It was just really frustrating to me, and I just really hope that we all have patience and love and honesty and openness when it comes to the rest of the black diaspora who are stuck thinking that they're less than. When they finally wake up and come into the fold, I'm going to be here with open arms. Celebrate, embrace it. It's beautiful. It's you. It's black. All right, you guys, that is it for this little video. Let me know what you guys think. What did you think of the conversation? Always remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.